Greetings, dear students. So we are discussing the subject portfolio management. So first unit is about introduction to investments. So in this unit, we are going to discuss about what are the different investments are available to us and what is mean by investment, what are the different investments and what are the objectives of investments, what are the different components of investments. Those things we are going to discuss in this first unit. So it is given, let us start the first unit. Okay. So here, if you see that there are different meaning for investments. So it's based on the individual who are making investments. Based on them, the investment meaning will differ. So first, if you take, it has at the formal meaning is given that investment involves employment of funds. In the sense, we are employing funds, whatever we have, that we are employing. It's a kind of whatever is generating income to us, that is kind of employment. No? So in that sense, we are employing funds with the aim of achieving additional income. So we need to generate some income, or we need to grow our income which we have, grow our money which we have. For that, we are employing the funds, and through that, whatever income we are getting, or whatever the additional revenue we are getting, that is the return we are getting from the investments. Okay. So, or we can say that lending money to another. Okay. So we are getting that additional income in terms of interest we are getting here. So that also we can say as investment, or we can say purchasing of gold. That is another meaning for investment. So what we are getting here in return, value appreciation. Okay. So we are getting appreciation for the investment which we are making. Or we can say purchase of insurance plan. So different insurance plan are there. So if we are purchasing that, that also kind of investment will be getting a promised future benefits. Here we may not get a return, but future benefit we get if we are having any risk in the future, we are able to get a future benefit out of the investment which we are making on insurance. So these are the different meaning we are taking in return for the investments which we are making. Okay. So you'll see the definition for investment. So if we see the definition, it is a commitment of funds made in the expectation of some positive rate of return. So it is a commitment. We are making a commitment on the funds which we are having, and we are expecting something in return. That a return we are expecting in positive rate of return. In the sense, there is a chance of nobody will be making their investments in the motive of making into loss. Okay, so they'll be making investments in the motive of making some positive return, that we can say profit they are expecting. Okay, so that is the definition for investment, a commitment of funds made in the expectation of some positive rate of return. Okay, so that is the definition. And next, if you are seeing, expectation of return is an essential element. Okay, so with the return expectation only we are making investment. That's what I said. Nobody is nobody is willing to let their money to go into loss, so they are expecting something in return. Okay, so why we are making this, why we are making these investments, and that we'll be discussing in the upcoming slide as objectives of investment. Okay, so there are numerous ways to invest our money. So that we'll be discussing in the second unit as a different investment avenues. So generally, if you see, there are non-marketable financial assets which we cannot sell it in the market, but one-to-one we are able to sell it. And bond market is available where we can purchase a bond, and through that we are able to get some appreciation on that. And mutual fund schemes, a lot of mutual fund schemes are available. And real estate we can invest. Okay, and equity shares, in share market we can invest on equity shares. And insurance plans are there. In that also we can invest, and in that we can expect something in the future to cover our risk. Okay, our derivative markets are there. We are able to invest on derivative markets, precious objects like gold and silver, platinum, like that. It is there, diamond. So if we are investing in that, we are able to get some value appreciation in the future. So like that, different investment avenues are there that we'll be detailing discussing in the upcoming unit. The second unit will discuss about it, and why we are making investments. Okay, so there are some objectives for making our investments, so that we'll discuss. And before that, there are different characteristics for investment that we so whenever we are making investments, it involves some components. Okay, so that we'll discuss here. That there is a motive behind investment. The primary motive behind investment is a return. Okay, we are expecting something in return, so that we are making some investment in any one of the investment avenues which we had it earlier. Okay, so that is first characteristics of investment. Second, if you see a risk, okay, so while we are expecting return, we need to be ready for facing the risk which is available. Okay, along with the return, there must be some risk. Without risk, there won't be any return. But we need to make a wise investment in order to reduce our risk and increase our return. Okay, so that is part of investment. And next, if you see safety, okay, so investments, there are formal way of investment and informal way of investments. So we need to be assure our safety while we are making our investments. And next thing, if you see liquidity, okay, so whenever you want any emergency, you need fund for any emergency, you are able to convert your investments into a fund immediately. So that liquidity is very important, whether you are able to convert it into a immediate fund. Okay. And next is tax shelter. You might be studying in income tax, and different provisions are there to make a tax shelter. So if you are making some investments, that will, for example, if you are investing in national savings certificate or public provident fund or provident fund, these are all also investments only. So if you are making investments over there, you are able to have a tax shelter over there. You can avoid some taxes. Okay, you can be free from some taxes. There are some provisions out there. Okay, so while you are looking for any investments, you need to be aware of these provisions. Okay, so just like that, spending money, investing money in some avenues and getting something back is not about investments. Okay, you need to be very clear about all these things which are all part of investment, like returns, risk, safety, liquidity, tax shelters. So all these things you need to consider while you are going for investments. Only then you need to make your investments. Okay. Thank you, students. And the other topics we'll be discussing in the upcoming topic. Thank you for your cooperation.